about my pregnancy, my labor and delivery, and my postpartum. I basically want to have this just so that I can remember it and that I can tell, you know, Lennox when he's older or something like that. My pregnancy definitely wasn't the greatest pregnancy in the world. It was really hard, and I just wanted to talk about it. Yeah, I just want to throw a disclaimer in there that I do not want to sound like ungrateful in any way, and I just want to say that and I don't want to sound like I had the hardest pregnancy in the world, because it may sound like that, but I definitely didn't. But at the time I was really suffering and I was really having a hard time getting through it. So this is just where I was in my life. Like, I'm 21 years old, so I was 20 at the time, still quite young, and I never ever experienced anything like it. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there, and I really don't want it to sound like, you know, I'm ungrateful, because I know how much people and mums would just love to have this experience, because, you know, they can't. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Me and my partner Jake were actually trying. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, and it does sound crazy, but my whole life I wanted to have kids early. I never wanted to have kids after 25. Like, I know this is sounding really crazy. So we talked about it for a very long time, and something popped up in our family at that time that sparked mine and Jake's decision to start trying. So I did like a ton of research about it. I was researching it so much. Like, I was researching like how long it took to get pregnant, all that stuff. The average time of like conceiving was around 6 months, and I was like, okay Jake, so this is kind of like how long we have to play with, and obviously it can happen straight away, but you know, it may not. He was like, okay, well yeah, let's start trying. So we started trying. I kind of like roughly tracked my ovulation and things like that, and you know, then we just, you know, started trying to have a baby. I felt pregnant straight away, and it was pretty crazy. And I knew I was pregnant, like I knew. And the reason was because I started feeling sick like straight away, like instantly. And we were excited, you know, we started telling like close family friends. Found out on the 17th of January, and we started trying on New Year's. So that's like literally not even 2 weeks after. Like, that's like 2-3 weeks after. Like, it's really not that long. So I was about 4 weeks pregnant, and I was kind of like, we were all excited. I still remember the first time I spewed, because it was like, okay, here it starts. So I was sitting down and I was going to have some orange. Even like actually eat it. Like, I just sucked on the juice, and I literally just like had to bolt for the toilet because it was not going down. Like, it was like the weirdest feeling that I've ever felt in my entire life. Like, all pregnant women will know what I mean when I say this. Like, you just, like, the weirdest things make you just, like, projectile vomit. Like, you cannot control it. So then I started to get sick, and I got really sick, and I did not expect it to hit me so hard. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like, I didn't expect it to be so bad. Everybody that I lived with, so just to let you guys know, I don't live in my parents don't live near me. They live in New South Wales, and I'm in Queensland. So, and everybody that I lived with actually work. I can't look after myself. Like, someone has to look after me. I'm a total baby. Like, I was a total baby. Like, I couldn't deal with it. So I ended up going back home with my parents. One of the biggest reasons was because my nan actually, you know, is older, and she doesn't have to work or anything like that, so she could help look after me while my mum was at work. And my mum was a school teacher, so she left in the morning and she was home by like 4 o'clock. So she really wasn't, like, she was gone for the majority of the day, but like, you know, she was home earlier. So I was just constantly spewing. Like, I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I was at the state of like, I mean, I wasn't sick like as in, oh, you know, I had smelt something or I nibbled on something and then it made me spew, and then it was like 24/7 spewing. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, I would spew at least every 1 to 2 hours, and I could not get anything down. Like I could not get water down, and I think that was the biggest thing. I don't think food is so important, but water is extremely important. And when you're vomiting as well, you know, you're obviously losing a lot of fluid, so you know, it was very hard. The first hospital trip that we went on, I didn't get put in the hospital or anything like that. It was kind of like I was just in like the emergency area. Went in, I was spewing, they put fluids through medication, went home, and I felt good. Like I felt really good, and I stopped vomiting as much, and I didn't feel as sick. Like I still felt sick, but I guess the fact that I wasn't vomiting really changes things. It wasn't long after that until I started vomiting again, and it would take maybe like not even a couple days, like 3 days I'm gonna say, and then I would be back into the same routine of just vomiting or vomiting. And every single time I would go to the hospital, I would like try to hang on a bit longer to not go back to the hospital. Also during this time, my dad was also found a tumor on his kidney, on one of his kidneys. And he was in excruciating pain. He had to stay in hospital for like over 6 weeks until it was taken out, and then, you know, recovery and all that stuff. But he was in like extreme pain, like extreme, like he was on so many different medications to help him with pain. You know, he had, probably this is a bit too in detail, but he had to have the catheter in the whole time because he had a lot of problems with that section of things. And so he was really struggling, and it kind of hit our family really hard, and it also hit me very hard. Also because I'm extremely emotional because I'm pregnant, but I was also very, very sick. I was constantly going into hospital, and my dad was in the same hospital, but obviously I was in maternity and he was in, you know, the normal ward. My mom would actually like run in between the wards because we were both there. So I was like that for ages, and I really struggled with this. Like I really struggled, and I wouldn't say so much with the pain side of it, I really struggled with the mental side of it, because I've never ever experienced anything like that, and it was hard. Like it was extremely hard. Like I would sit there and just cry. Like I'd cry 24/7 as well as vomiting. And I remember there were times when they were trying to put cannulas into my arms and they just wouldn't go in, and trying to get blood. And I don't know if you guys have ever been extremely dehydrated and people trying to take your blood. It's very, very hard. It's very hard. And then I remember there was one hospital trip where I just wouldn't, like I wouldn't give in to go to the hospital, and I kept holding on, and it probably did more damage than it did any good, because I was in excruciating pain because of vomiting so much, and I literally couldn't walk. Like I just was like, this is just so horrible. Like I literally could not walk, and I was like, and I remember I had to, like in the hospital, I had to get people bring trays to my bed so that I could go to the toilet, because I just literally could not, you know, get up and walk to the toilet. Like I was just so weak, so much pain. Honestly, that was the worst part of the whole of everything. Like worst part, like that was way worse than labor to me. That was way worse than everything. Yeah, so during that time of like being so sick, constantly going to the hospital, actually my friends, and I really couldn't like talk to anyone. Like I was off social media for like 4 months. Like if you look at the section of like from like New Year's till like, I think it's about when I announced it to April or after April, is when I really started to post again, because in that section I just couldn't talk to anyone. And I really, my friends from family and friends from Brisbane, they were like, it felt like you were just gone, like, you know, we didn't know what to do. And one day they all chucked in and sent me a bunch of flowers to my house, and it was like, it was crazy because like, and they sent me a bunch of like roses, yellow roses. It honestly warmed my heart that people were still thinking of me in this like terrible time that I thought I was going through. I'm just so happy that I have amazing friends and family that were there for me, and even though they weren't there for like actually with me, they were still thinking of me, and it meant a lot to me. Like I think it meant a lot because I felt so alone in that time, because I was going through it by myself when I really wasn't. Like, but this is just what I was thinking at the time. Like, so that section was basically half of my pregnancy. But then after about 20 weeks is when it really slowed down. I will say that I was still sick, and in that time we also went on a cruise for my 21st birthday. So I was sick on the cruise, so I didn't really get to party. I didn't get to, I think I was in bed by like 6 o'clock every single night. Like, and the one night that I did say it was my birthday, and my 21st was like, you know, normally it's a massive big celebration for the majority of people for their 21st, and mine was like, okay, thank you for saying hey, happy birthday, I'm going to sleep, like I need to go before I spew up on everyone. No, but I did enjoy it, I really did. Like, I was very lucky to have that, and I had lots and lots and lots of people there with me for my 21st. So it was like a massive cruise, and I'm really happy that everyone else got to. I actually had a friend, my friend Crystal, she was actually pregnant at the same time, and she was on the cruise as well. And she was actually also sick, so we were like both sick on the cruise. And after that it started to get a lot better, and I actually went back home to Brisbane, you know, with my partner in Overborough. And then I guess the rest of the pregnancy was, I'm not gonna say it was great, but it definitely was 100 times better than like the first half. And I don't think this is uncommon for like first time moms, especially when you're first pregnant. I also have another friend that was pregnant, and she's just had her little boy not too long ago, and she was the exact same. Like, she was unbelievably deathly sick. So it's not uncommon for this to happen, it really isn't. And I had to stop taking some of the pills that I was taking for heartburn because they were in a bad category of like, they're not too sure if there's any side effects to it or anything, so they don't really want you on it unless it's absolutely like you have to have it. So I had it throughout my whole time of like vomiting, but then the second half I stopped taking it and I was just having Gaviscon. The heartburn was to the point where I was projectile vomiting. Like, there was multiple nights, and obviously this isn't so bad to me because of the vomiting that I had before. Like, I really feel like I vomited so badly because just like my gag reflex was just like messed up because of how much I've been vomiting. You know, it was just so easy. Like, I could literally cough and I would vomit. Like, I feel like it's easy to vomit anyways when you're pregnant. Yeah, so I remember there was one night where I spewed up all the walls. It was just disgusting. My poor partner had to sit there and was like, it's okay, it's just okay, you know, and tried to like feel what I'm feeling. It got a lot better. It wasn't as bad. I remember I was still crying all the time because obviously hormone, you know, my time went to give birth to him. And yeah, so that's in my next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this, you know, somewhat helped someone. I really don't have any tips or anything on like how to help morning sickness because I really didn't have anything. Like, I just had to deal with it and just had to go to the hospital. And I feel like that's just, for some people, that's the only solution. You know, I really hope that I can relate to someone, because I remember feeling like I was the only person experiencing this when I really wasn't. Like, it happens to a lot of women. Sorry, my son's just woken up.